we have 2 visitor centers, and we get a lot of questions. Okay. And so, Kelly, you're going to help us out in a segment we call We Get Questions.
God, and I never get out anymore, so I'm going to fail.
No, you're going to be great at this. You're going to do great.
Okay.
You've been through a lot. This is easy. This is easy, Kelly. Yeah, Sonoma Valley. Ready? First question. What is the difference between a tasting room and a winery?
Oh, I know that. A tasting room is where they give you samples. Usually it's just kind of they have a place where you can exchange, you can buy swag, you can buy the bottles, a tasting room is more like a marketplace for the winery. The winery is where they turn grapes into this beautiful thing called wine.
Boom, you're right.
Okay.
A winery.
Not all wineries have tasting rooms.
Right. And not all tasting rooms.
A tasting room should have a winery, but often they don't.
Some, like, for example, I like the way you put that, right? Because a vineyard's a whole other thing. Right. That's where they grow grapes. A winery is where they convert grapes into wine, and they will often, but not always, have a place to taste that wine.
Right.
However, maybe it's way up in the middle of nowhere. When you work for Gallo, I think you guys had something up on Moon Mountain or something like that. It was just way up there. And no one can go up there. So you might bring the wine down and have it in town, like in Sonoma, they have a tasting room. Right. Which is maybe in an old sock shop that they've converted into a tasting place, right?
And they are now, they'll often have records in there. You can bring your own record in and play it. Like, they've transformed tasting rooms to try to do anything to make them different.
Right. They got pickleball. They got bocce. they got darts, which is probably not a good idea. But so they've got all these different things. So tasting room, taste the wine. You can buy stuff too. Got to buy the merch.
Yeah, I hate shopping, so when I worked in the wine industry for 20 years, all I had was logoed winery stuff.
Oh, if it wasn't for logo wear, people in the wine and travel business would be naked. Yeah, they would need to go to Farm to Panty because they'd have no underwear.
You need to shop somewhere other than a tasting room. No. I'm like, it's just where I am. So
it's right there, hon. Yeah. Okay, good. Here's another question. Hey, my daughter is getting married in Sonoma. Congratulations. The day after the wedding, we would like to have bagels and coffee for friends on the Sonoma Plaza. Are we allowed to do that?
How big is your wedding?
That's a good question.
I mean, if it's a really small gathering of relatives, I would think yes,
You're right. Absolutely. There is
if you have 350 of your closest friends, you might need a permit. I don't know.
You might, but if it's we are a very pro bagels and coffee on the plaza people here. Excellent. You can and they can be any pastry. As a matter of fact, they can be croissants if you want. They can be non-bread. Yes. So you can bring whatever you want. You can hang out in the plaza. My recommendation is if it's small enough, just get there early, have some coffee, and just chill. If it's a lot of people, like 300, I thought you did it at the wedding, so the next day, no one.
You got to shake those people loose.
That's right. Let
You've had your share, all right?
But you could reserve the spot if it's bigger. And that goes for almost every park in Sonoma County.
We did our AmeriCorps down here in the Sonoma Plaza. We have an AmeriCorps and a Grizzly Corps come and help us out for about 9 months. Okay. And we did their little party down here in the Sonoma Plaza, and we had cake, and there was probably 15 of us, and no one gave us trouble.
They did not?
Yeah.
What's Grizzly Corps?
It's a little bit more hardcore than AmeriCorps. They're more about the environment.
They're like big beards and flannels. They're like, we don't sleep inside. Yeah. For the Grizzly Corps. Okay, I didn't know about the Grizzly Corps. Yeah. It's really called the Grizzly Corps.
It is.
That's fantastic. What's the Portland one called?
I don't know.
The Patchouli Corps. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Doing that. Here's a good one. Someone asked, what is a wine slushie and where can I get one?
I have not tried one, but I know you can get them at Chateau Diana. I don't know if they serve them all the time, but we glean their property. They have a nice little potato plot up there, and so we get potatoes from them.
They have a potato plot up there in Healdsburg? Okay.
So you might even be able to get a spare potato on the way out, too.
I would just like a hash brown.
Yes, they have the wine slushie. I've seen slushie machines at events now, too.
Yes, it's a big thing. So wine slushie is basically like an icy, or whatever you want to call it. It's ice slushie with wine in it that's chilled and made into almost like a dessert ice cream thing.
Yeah, it's really, really like on a really hot day.
Right.
When you don't necessarily feel like a big, rich, velvety red, heavy red.
Right.
The wine slushie I can see would be appealing.
So here in Sonoma, City of Sonoma, Cy Champagne Lounge has slushies, and La Prenda Tasting Room. Okay. And I think some different places like Annaba has some as well. So you're right.
Okay.
And you can rent one. You can rent a wine.
And it does get hot here in wine.
And you know what? It doesn't even have to be a wine. You can get a non-alcoholic grape juice that has the same sort of feeling to it and just have slushies, or get the atomic weird blue stuff that kids eat. And have your blue tongue.
We're trying not to have them.
Have all the chemicals.
I do. The trend that I do like is that they've had more offerings for people who are driving. And
smart.
They'll be like, hey, we have non-alcoholic grape juice and stuff like that.
It's a great idea.
I know they have that at several wineries, which I think is great.
I think
because
it's
it encourages people to be like, to want to be the driver, you know, because they get treated special.
Well, not everyone drinks. So it gives you a chance as well to like, hey, be a part of the activities.
Yeah.
And to do it, and so
would you like your milk in a fancy glass?
I always get mine in a goblet. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Here's another question. You're doing great, by the way.
Okay.
So
bring it.
I saw a sign on the side of the road that said "Prescribed burn. Don't call." What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that have PTSD around here when they see smoke.
Right.
And so a lot of people will see smoke and immediately panic.
Yeah.
So, but we're kind of going back to the ways of the indigenous people where they would they would have these fires, and it's basically it doesn't burn the land, but it basically prevents forest fires in some way. I don't know the science behind it, but it's really, really good for the soil and to prevent forest fires. So we amazingly have decided, they did that for a reason. They were onto something.
there was a reason for that.
So now they'll do prescribed burns just to get down the rill.
Right.
Especially when we've had a lot of rain at once. Mm-hmm. It gets real grassy. Like our cover crop was taller than me. Mm. When I say our, I mean like our neighbors.
And you're 6 feet tall. People listening.
Totally.
Right.
Woo. And so it'll get those under control, so it's not easy to burn. So they will do prescribed burns and post it so that people don't panic and then call in a fire.
Right.
So it's just a little warning that no need to worry. We're doing this on purpose.
Exactly. And it's usually CAL FIRE or the Sonoma Ecology Center, or someone's doing a burn. And I think what I've heard is called fuel reduction, where they get rid of a lot of, it's the grasses aren't the problem, those burn down, but it's like when the branches fall and they build up and the trees get close together, you have big fires. And so you're absolutely right. Like, it's a way to control that over time. It is kind of freaky if you're not from here, but if you're from here, you're like, oh, okay. And that's why they put the sign up. But they get calls anyway because
but it's like a big plunk. You're like, okay, that looks like more than an acre.
I know. You're like, what the heck? How big is an acre?
Yeah.
No, and they don't do them usually later in the summer. It's usually in the spring. So we're at the right tail end of it right now in June, when the grass is dry and they kind of finish it. Interesting fact: up in Dry Creek Valley, there's a winery called Sabragia, and it's right against Lake Sonoma, and it has a huge earthen dam. And they were the ones, the earthen dam, they would burn part of it around Labor Day so CAL FIRE could practice it. And Burning Man happens the same weekend. They would have a burning dam party. So you can sit there and watch the CAL FIRE guys practice on this big, huge, it's an enormous dam.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing, so hey.
I love that winery. You have to keep going down Dry Creek Road. And
you think you're like, it's the end of the earth.
Yes.
Or you're going to be in the lake.
And the view is worth it. And they, are so happy that people are out there. They treat you like...
You made it!
Yes.
Yeah.
People
They're like, you're not a steelhead coming all the way up. Like, no, I'm a human being. Yeah. You're doing great on this.
Okay.
See, you were worried. Come on. Ready?
It's all coming back.
So easy. We are visiting from the wine regions of Germany, so we are already familiar with vineyards. We would like to actually see some areas with scenic beauty, and we only have one day.
Oh.
What do you recommend?
Who asked that question? That is
a German.
Difficult. My husband was born in Germany. No wonder
he really?
He's so irritating.
Is he German?
And I want him to take me to Germany because there is some beautiful, beautiful
It's gorgeous.
On the Moselle River and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get over there. I have a question for them.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to find them.
But,
It's gone.
there's lots of...
so just scenic beauty. Where do you go?
Scenic beauty. You drive down that moon,
Okay.
you know.
What, the Arnold Drive?
Arnold Drive.
Right.
That is beautiful, no matter what time of day.
Yeah.
But kind of like midday when all the greenness and
the oaks are overlaying it, and that's a nice... Because you used to live down here.
I did.
And you
and
probably...
the same thing happens to me when I drive through Alexander Valley. Like I feel like I'm only 3 miles out of downtown Healdsburg.
Right.
But I feel like I've entered another country. Like it's like the hills of Italy or something.
Right. No, it's gorgeous.
And it's absolutely breathtaking. I just sometimes pull over and will take a picture of it. And I've driven by it so many times, but I act like a tourist whenever I drive through there because it is that breathtaking.
No, it really... Well,
Yeah.
it's okay to be a tourist.
Right.
And
we act like tourists because, you know, we know how beautiful it is
right,
here.
no,
We
because you're
can't take
absolutely...
it for granted.
It's like so stunning. And so you're right. I would say just get in the car. If you're in a car and go drive around, Arnold Drive, Highway 12 is fantastic. Dry Creek Valley is fantastic. Russian River, go out there, go to the coast and see stuff there. If you want to go for a hike, I sense like this German guy wants to go hiking. I don't know why. Maybe it's the Swiss people instead of the Germans.
I think so, yeah.
But
rucksack.
Go up to the Overlook Trail here in Sonoma. Go up to Jack London State Park.
We glean Jack London State Park, too.
Oh, right. They have a historic orchard.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
And you can do the hikes and anything you see, you can eat. It's
For
just
real?
Like, yeah.
Are there just like random fruit trees just around?
Well, they preserved the orchard, but basically it used to be controlled, taken care of by Sonoma Developmental Center.
Okay.
Jack Creek.
Jack London?
Jack London bought that property, and so now we help them glean it, and then we bring the excess food, you know, to people here in Sonoma.
Oh, that's great.
But they're doing lots of like wildflower hikes where you can go with an expert and they can point stuff out to you, or there's more like 12-mile hikes where you can really get serious. What did I say?
The 12 miles, that's a lot of hiking. Who the hell would hike 12 miles?
It is. Like, I almost signed up for it on accident. It was on small print. I was like, whoa.
Look, that's not 1.2 miles.
No. The decimal's wrong.
Forget that. Yeah. That's right. You're right. There's a lot of beautiful places to go out and do stuff like that and see things. Kelly, are you a big hiker?
I will hike, but I don't, like, seek it out myself, but I'll go with people.
Okay. And you're not like a crazy runner or anything like that? Or...
I used to be.
Okay.
I did a marathon, and then I said, that's it.
Done it. I'm finished. I'm over.
I'm a 1%er, and I won't have to do that.
We get a lot of people that come here either to do running events or they just really want to go hiking. And what's nice about Sonoma Valley and Sonoma County, we're not Yosemite, we're not, desolation wilderness, but we still have fantastic hikes we do have 12 to 15 mile hikes if you're insane.
Right.
Or like normal people, we have 3 mile hikes.
Well, and my first marathon was the Santa Rosa Marathon.
Oh, you did that?
And you get to run through a barrel room and everything. So there's people that come from all over the world just to, do a unique marathon where you get to run through a barrel room.
Really?
And instead of water at one point, they hand out these little things of wine.
Oh, my God.
Which is the last thing you need. But it's something, really cool.
Have you run more than one marathon?
Just halves and then a marathon.
Okay. No, don't do that. Just walk.
Yeah, I know. It's not. Like I said, there was a.
Although we have the
Napa
Sonoma Marathon coming up, and that's a big thing here, and people really like it. It's supposed to be very pretty. I enjoy watching them finish. I'm so proud of them.
Yes.
I'm so happy. I'm share their journey. I'm like, you guys did such a good job.
Yeah, I will be there to root them on. I will not be doing it again. But it was great.
That's nuts. All right, you answered all the questions. You passed the test. You can now be a volunteer at the Visitor Center. Good job, Kelly.